Hi everyone, so welcome to this video lecture. So for this session, we will cover all of the topics under the advanced mathematics. So we will have the complex numbers, imaginary numbers, and of course last topic which is the Laplace transform or it's the Laplace transform. So hindi natin papasadahan yung Fourier series and other types of series such as the Maclaurin and the Taylor. So with that now, let's proceed with our lesson. So for the first topic, we will have the imaginary number. So, di ba, kapag nag-comp mode ka or mode 1 sa calculator mo, and you want to get the square root of -4, and assume, that this will give us math error. Kasi nga, by default, hindi ka talaga pwedeng mag-solve ng any value, any negative value sa loob ng kalikasan. You cannot get the square root of any negative value kapag naka-mode 1 ka. Kasi nga, wala ka makakuhang real number kapag ganun ang usapan. Pero, if you will use, or if you will resort to manual solving, for example, you want to get the square root of -4, you can actually do that. You can actually get a value from this one. So, di ba, si 4, ihiwalay ko siya kay -1. And di ba, recall that the square root of -1 is equal to I, or the imaginary number itself. So, kapag natandaan mo to, ito, masasagutan mo yan. So, with that, I'll simply get the square root of 4, which is positive and -2. Okay? And, ang matitira sa atin is the square root of -1, and the square root of -1 nga is I. So, therefore, the answer is 2I. Ngayon, pwede mo din siya makuha sa calculator mo as long as naka-mode ka or naka-complex mode ka. So with that, you can simply type the given here, which is a square root of -4, and you will arrive with the same answer. So ngayon, paano naman kapag ganito? No. Say I have I raised to 5. Ganun. Or I raised to 6. Paano ko makuha yan? If I will use my calculator, again, I'll assume na complex mode siya. I'll assume na magiging math error din yan. Sige, try natin ha. Para nga pala makuha nyo si I, simply select eng. Itong eng button to. Sige, gawin natin I raised to 5. Math error. Sige, gawin natin I raised to 6. Math error ulit yan. So on and so forth. Pero pag pinindot ko si I squared, may sagot yan. May sagot yan. Ayan. Pag nilagay ko naman si I cube, may sagot din yan. Sige, try natin ha. Ayan. What does it mean? No, si calculator, kaya niya lang isolve ay any imaginary number raised to 3. Hanggang 3 lang, hanggang cube lang. Pero kapag nag-I raised to 4 ka or any value greater than 3, magmamath error yan. Paano pag ganun? No, bigay sa akin ng I raised to 5, paano ko ba solve yun? You simply use this concept. Ayan, nawala. Wait lang. Ayan. Kasi diba, sige, simulan ko sa I raised to 1. Okay? So, I raised to 1, I raised to 2, I cube, wait lang, ayusin ko lang, I cube, I raised to 4, ayan, stop muna tayo dyan. Then, move ko lang dito, ayan. So, tandaan mo lang, ito ay si I1, and then yung dalawang nasa loob, may negative. Yan na yan. Paano nga si I raised to 5? Ngayon, pansin nyo, tumigil ako kay 4. Kasi, paulit-ulit lang siya. No, every fourth term, paulit-ulit lang siya. Sige, check natin. Let's say I have I raised to 5. I raised to 5. Pwede ko siyang i-reduce to I raised to 4 and I raised to 1. Diba si I raised to 4 equal to 1 and I raised to 1 is equal to I. So with that, I will still get I. So notice, nakamukha lang ni I raised to 1 sa I raised to 5, nauulit lang. Sige, i-prove natin gamit naman si I raised to 6. Si I raised to 6, pwede ko siyang i-reduce to I cube and I cube ulit. Ayan. So si I cube is negative I times negative I ulit. And this will give us positive I squared. Ano nga si I squared? It's -1. Magkamukha, di ba? Magkamukha. Ayan. And then, let's proceed to I raised to 7. So, sorry, may So, this will be I raised to 4 and then I cube. Diba si I raised to 4 is equal to 1 and then si I cube is equal to negative 1. So, with that, we will still arrive with negative 1, which is again, kamukha ni I cube, si I raised to 7. And then, let's proceed. Sige, last na to. I raised to 8. So, this will be I raised to 4. Sige, mag-uulit lang kasi tayo dyan. So, let's have, sige, yan na. Let's have I raised to 4 and I raised to 4 here. So, I raised to 4 is again 1 multiplied to 1, which is still 1. So, again, magkamukha lang din siya. So, kung didiretso nyo sa I raised to 9, I'll assume that I raised to 9 is kamukha ni I raised to 1, then I raised to 10 is kamukha ni I squared, so on and so forth. Paano naman kapag halimbawa, tinanong ko, find, I raised to, sige, ganito na lang. So, for the problem number 1, let's have I raised to 27 plus I raised to 32 minus I raised to 18 minus I. Okay. So, ngayon, kung ilalagay niyo siya sa calculator, as in gantong-ganto ang itsura, try natin. So, I raised to 27 plus, plus I raised to 32 minus I raised to 18 and then minus I. Pag nilagay mo sa calculator, as in ganun, math error ulit. Bakit nga? Kasi tingnan nyo yung exponents, so 27, 27, 32, 18. Ano masabi ko kanina? Ang kaya lang isolve ng calculator ay hanggang 3. I raised to 3. Ito yung 27. So, gagawin mo. Sige. Pag ginawa mo yung ganito, sabihin, i-reduce mo. So, baka ang gawin mo kasi I raised to 27. So, sige, gawin ko I squared, tapos I cube, tapos I raised to 4, hanggang sa maging equals is 27. Pag ginawa mo yun, that is very time-consuming. Diba? And parang pag-exam, diba? Or quiz, na mano-mano ang pagsasolve. No, sabihin mo lang multiple choice. Paano yung ganun? The technique here is you divide all the exponents by 4. If divisible by 4, equate to 1. Palitan mo agad ng 1. If not, make sure na you use the numerator as the new exponent. Use numerator as new exponent of I. Pero, dito sa second condition, make sure na gagamitin mo lang yung numerator if the denominator is 4. For example, ang naging sagot mo is 1/2. Okay? Ngayon, baka gawin mo, okay, sabihin na I raised to 1. Kasi nga, sabi ni ma'am, yung numerator, yung magiging bagong exponent ng ating I. Hindi po ganun, no? Sabi ko nga, kailangan yung denominator nito para magamit mo sa second condition is 4. So, paano kapag 1/2? E di palitan mo lang ng exponent kung saan ang denominator niya would be 4, pero still, it would be equal to 1/2. So, diba, 1/2 is also equal to 2 all over 4. Diba? So, with this one, nasatisfy yung ating second condition kasi una-una, 4 yung ating denominator. So, with that, our new exponent of I will be 2. Let's proceed dito sa ating problem number 1. So, let's first have I raised to 27. I raised to 27. So, 27 divided by 4. Sige, gawin na natin siya sa calculator, ha? 27 divided by 4, this will be equal to 27 all over 4 pa rin. Pero, gusto nga natin, meron tayong panibagong numerator or exponent. So, with that, let's use, since this is an improper fraction, let's convert it to its corresponding mixed fraction. So, sorry. Wait lang. Ayan. So, with that, ito pala. Ayan. So, this will be 6 and 3/4. So, Ibig sabihin, since ang ating denominator naman is 4, our new exponent of I will be 3. And I cube, kung titignan mo ulit dito, is equal to negative I. So let's proceed to I raised to 32. I raised to 32. Again, 32 divided by 4. I think this is divisible by 4 naman. So let's check lang din. 32 divided by 4. This will be equal to 8. And since this is divisible by 4, papalitan ko na agad siya ng 1 para hindi ako malito. Next, let's have I raised to 18. So 18 divided by 4. Let's check lang ulit dito. This is an improper fraction. So let's convert it to its corresponding mixed fraction and we will have 4 and 1 half. Pero sabi ko nga, hindi siya pwede gamitin kasi nga, yung ating denominator is not equal to 4. So, pwede natin gawin, we can convert 1 half to 2/4. So, with that, no, our new exponent of I will be 2 and I squared is equal to negative 1. Let's check lang din. Ayan, negative 1. And lastly, of course, I raised to 1 is equal to I. So, since meron na po tayo ditong values, we have negative I, 1, negative 1, and I. Let's do the operations na, no? So, I raised to 27, papalitan ko na siya ng negative I. Si I raised to 32, this is equal to 1. Then, this will be minus I raised to 18, and I raised to 18 is now equal to negative 1, and minus I. So, simplifying the whole equation, we will have, diba, this is 1, negative times negative, this is positive, so this will be positive 2 minus 2i, and that is our final answer. For the next item, let's have I raised to negative 38. So, this is nakanegate, diba? So, kung i-rewrite ko siya, this is also equal to 1 all over I raised to 38. Ngayon, kapag siya ay nakanegate, or sa madaling salita, yung ating imaginary number ay nasa denominator na talaga. Your goal is alisin siya sa denominator. Or maging 1 yung denominator mo. So, di ba? Tandaan natin kanina, para maging 1, yung iyong imaginary number, dapat siya ay divisible by 4. So, ano yung nearest number sa 38 na magiging divisible yung ating exponent by 4? So, I'll assume that it's I raised to 40. Diba? Kasi kapag I raised to 36, ang ginamit mo, kailangan mo ulit mag-negate. Kasi babawasan mo to eh. Babawasan mo si 38. So, ang multiply mo is negative 2. Tama ba? Para maging 36 siya. Eh, negative yung exponent mo doon. Negative yung i-multiply mo kay 38. So, mag-negate ka ulit. So, paulit-ulit ka mag-negate. So, as much as possible, kung pipili ka ng value to make your current exponent divisible by 4, you choose the value, the greater, para hindi mo na kailangan mag-negate. So, di ba, if I will add 2 sa 38, I will get 40. And 40 is divisible by 4. So, kung divisible siya by 4, that will be what? Our denominator will be 1. So, para makapag-add tayo ng value sa ating exponent, the best way is to multiply. I'll multiply I squared here. Pero diba, as much as possible, kapag may ginalaw tayo, for example, we have the two parts here. We have the numerator and the denominator. Kapag may ginawa ako kay denominator, dapat may gagawin din ako kay numerator. Para kunwari, walang nangyari. So, kung nag-multiply ako ng I squared kay denominator, kailangan mag-multiply din ako ng I squared kay numerator para kunwari, wala akong ginawa. Kasi, di ba, this term here, this one, ay technically equal to 1. So, parang ang nangyari, 1 all over I raised to 38, multiplied to 1. So, parang wala talaga nangyari. Di ba? Pero technically, may nangyari talaga. So, sa madaling salita, kung ano yung ginawa mo sa isa, yun din yung gagawin mo dun sa kapartner niya. Okay? So, with that, no, this will be I squared all over I raised to 40, and since 40 is divisible by 4, this will be equal to 1. This will be equal to 1, and we will be left with I squared here. And diba, I squared is equal to negative 1. So therefore, negative 1 is our answer. For the next topic, we will have the complex numbers na. So with that, no, diba nasanay tayo sa ating analytic geometry na we have, for example, we have a point here. I'll call this point P. And in order to locate point P, which has a coordinate pair of x and y, which is the abscissa and one ordinate. Now, in order for me to get the location of point P, yan. Now, gumagamit tayo ng isang formula. Kasi diba, kamukha niya, this one. Kapag tinuloy ko to, this displays similarities with the Pythagorean theorem or the right triangle. Kasi it forms a right triangle. So, diba, kapag right triangle, palagi natin siyang ina-associate sa iisang formula, which is the Pythagorean theorem, wherein the Pythagorean theorem states that c squared, or the hypotenuse, which is the longest side, is equal to a squared plus b squared. And since we only want the c, or the length of the hypotenuse, we get the square root of the square, or the sum of the squares of the two values, or the square root of a squared plus b squared. So similarly, no, kapag pumunta tayo sa complex numbers, we always denote the length or the hypotenuse, as the mod or the r, or the absolute value of z. Sige, i-drawing ko lang din na. So for example, this is in terms of the complex number na. For example, I have here again a certain point, and in order for me to get the location of that certain point, I have to consider the ordinate pairs. So, pagdating sa complex numbers, hindi na x and y. No, hindi na rectangular values yung ating ginagamit. But rather, it's the mod, or the r, and the argument, which is the theta. Okay? So again, this is the mod, no? Or it can be rewritten as the absolute value of z, wherein z pertains to complex number itself. But if you only want to get the real value of your complex number, you get the absolute value of that complex number. Okay? Now, for this one, this is known as the argument, or the arg, no, yung phase angle niya. And yung phase angle niya is always measured from the positive side of the horizontal axis, or from the positive side of the x-axis. Okay? Ayan. So, may iba't iba tayong formats of the complex number. The first one here, kung i-base natin siya dito sa ating rectangular system, using x and y as the abscissa and the ordinate respectively, and kung i-write ko siya into its complex counterpart, this will be x plus y. Okay. Si I, lagi siyang associated kay y. Okay? Kasi we assume that the x part here, this one, is always the real number. So, kaya yung I, dinalagay lagi natin siya katabi ng y. Pero, hindi lang po ito yung way of writing the imaginary number, no? Kasi we have two ways of writing the imaginary number. Let's recall, no? Recall, that's imaginary number. It can take the form of I or J. Si I, lagi siyang ilalagay sa last part ng y. So, for example, yi. Pero si j, lagi siyang ilalagay sa front part ni y. So, it's before y. So, this will be j, y. Pero si I, it's placed after y. Pero, sa calculator mo, sige, tingnan na si calculator ha. Kung papansin mo, wala ka makikitang j dyan. Baka kasi maglagay ako ng problem sa quiz, no? Na kung saan j ang nilagay ko as the imaginary number. And pag gumamit ka ng calculator, hinahanap mo asa dito si j, no? Guys, wala pong j sa calculator nyo ha. Only the I to represent the imaginary number. So, for example, j5 nilagay ko, no, and pinapasolve ko sa inyo, pinapakuha ko sa inyo si mod or si argument. Hindi mo po masasolve yan kung j ang gagamitin mo kasi nga walang j sa calculator mo. You use I. Pero for example, ganyan nilagay mo, no, baka ang gawin mo, I5. Diba? Sabi ko nga, the I, kapag I yung notation mo to represent the imaginary number, si I is placed after, no, or at the end of the number or at the end of y. Si j is placed at the front of y. So kapag ganyan yung nilagay mo, sige, syntax error. Kasi nga, sinasabi ng calculator mo, uy, mali yung pagkaka-place ng iyong imaginary number, dapat nasa dulo yan. Yan. Okay? Ayan, so, let's proceed. So, if i-convert po natin, if we will convert the rectangular system, rectangular form, oh, by the way, this is the rectangular form, this one, to its polar counterpart, polar form, it follows the format na z is equal to r angle theta. Si r is the mod again, or the absolute value of z, and theta here is the argument or the phase angle. Okay? Ngayon, the question, lagi po ba dapat naka-degrees yung aking calculator kasi ito ay angle? Not necessarily. No. It all depends sa given. Kapag yung given mo ay may mga pi or dapat naka-radians, so ibig sabihin yung calculator mo dapat in radians mode. Pero for example, naka-degrees lahat ng values mo, i-convert mo to degrees. No. It depends sa given. So anyway, if gagamit ka ng manual solving to convert the rectangular values or the rectangular complex number to its polar counterpart, now you use the formula. For example, let's have example. Let's have z is equal to 3 plus 4i. Ayan. Diba this one follows x plus yi. Ayan. So this is the rectangular format. So if we want to get the polar form of this value here, or of this complex number here, you simply follow the format, or you simply follow the formula. Now, in order to get r, or the mod, this is simply the absolute value of z, which is simply equal to x squared plus y squared. In order for you to get the argument, this is simply arctan of y all over x. Ayan na yan. Sige, let's try. Now, let's find the mod of this complex number. So, let's have the absolute value of 3 plus 4i. So, this will be the square root of 3 squared plus 4 squared. So, this will be the square root of 9 plus 16, which is the square root of 25 is, wait lang. Move ko lang. Is equal to 5. So therefore, your mod or your r is equal to 5. Now, if you want to get the argument, this is simply the arctangent of 4 all over 3, which I think, if we will use our calculator, yan. This will be the arctan. Saan yung arctan? Yan. 4 all over 3, which is equal to, wait lang. Sorry. Mali pala ako ng placement. Yan, 53.13. 0.13 degrees kasi naka-degree mode yung ating calculator. Pero, kung maswerte ka at ang iyong exam or iyong quiz ay multiple choice, pwede ka na mag-rely sa calculator mo to solve everything. No, kasi hindi mo ito kailangan i-solve pa manually kung may calculator ka and kung multiple choice yung type of exam mo. Paano? Sige, let's again use the complex mode of our calculator. So let's have 3 plus 4i as our base complex number. Diba sabi ko nga, si 3 plus 4i, that's the complex number itself. That's the z. So, sabi mo, ma'am, it's the absolute value of c. So, try ko nga. Try lang natin, ha. Let's have the absolute values yung aking abs. Ayan, shift abs of 3 plus 4i. If gagawin ko to, press equals, ayan, 5. Okay, kasi, yung ibibigay lagi sa'yo ni absolute value of c is the mod or the r itself. So, that's why 5 ang sagot. Similar dito, which is 5. Okay? Next. Ay, ma'am, paano kapag gusto ko diretso na agad? bigay sa akin agad yung mod and the argument. Kasi ito, this one, mod lang yung binigay sa'yo. Wala kang argument. So, ano yun? Susunod mo pa yung argument? Kahit wag na, kahit ipagsabay mo na para isang lapagan ng sagot. So, gawin mo lang, i-type mo lang sa 3 plus 4i, and then you use shift 2. Makikita mo dyan si arg, conjugate, the polar form, and the rectangular form. So, if you want to convert the rectangular form to its polar form, you just use shift 2, 3. Ayan. So, 5 angle 53.13. So, exactly yung same yung nakuha natin sa linabas ng calculator. Ganyan lang po siya ha. Ayan. So, let's proceed to the next types of complex numbers now. So, we have the rectangular form, the polar form. Let's proceed to the last two, which are the exponential and the trigonometric formats of our complex number. Okay, dito ko na nalagay. So, for the trigonometric format, it follows RCGs. Basahin mo para hindi mo malimutan. Si RCGs. Ano ibig sabihin ng RCGs? If you want to convert your complex number, which is z, into its trigonometric form, it follows the format, or it must follow the format na R is multiplied with the quantity of cosine theta plus J sine theta. RCGs. Okay? Next, let's have the exponential. Sa exponential naman, it's regio. Ayan, kasi it follows the format na R e raised to J theta. Regio. Okay? So, ngayon, paano ko malalaman kung kailan ko i-convert yung aking calculator into its degree mode or rad mode? Kasi sabi mo, ma'am, kapag yung given sa akin ay naka-rad mode, okay, radians yung values ko, ira-rad mode siya. Pag naka-degrees, degree mode yung calculator ko. Pero yun lang ba yung condition natin para malaman kung kailan mo siya i-convert to degree or radians mode. So, hindi lang po yun, no? Kasi kapag rectangular form, wag na. Kasi wala namang angle dyan, no? Let's proceed to the polar form. Yan. Gawin ko lang yung black. Kapag polar form, yung iyong theta dito, ayan, yung theta natin dito, it can either follow degree or rad. Again, it depends on the given value. Kapag trigonometric, it's also either degree or rad, depende sa given values. Pero pagdating sa exponential, yan yung pinakamaarte. Okay? Kasi kapag exponential, si theta here must always be in radians mode. So, kung nakakita ka ng exponential, dapat in radians mode siya. Okay, dapat naka-radians yung iyong calculator. Another thing, no, si exponential, yan yung tanging format ng iyong complex number na hindi kayang basahin ni calculator. Kasi kapag nilagay mo, for example, 5e raised to j, let's have 3.14. Ayan. Kapag nilagay mo yan sa calculator mo, hindi yan kayang basahin ni calculator. Kasi naka-exponential form siya. So, paano yun? No, paano ko siya idadiretso sa calculator mo? Ano lang ba ang kayang basahin ni calculator? It's the rectangular, it's polar, and it's the trigonometric. And ano lang yung available na conversion sa iyong calculator? It's polar, it's the polar here, and the rectangular. So, ibig sabihin, kung naka-encounter ka na exponential na format ng iyong complex number, you always convert it first to its polar form. Which is madali lang kasi si polar, ang kailangan mo lang dun na components is si R and si phase angle. Si exponential, si R and si phase angle. So, madali ka mag-convert. Kung, example, we have 5e raised to j 3.14. This is your R, this is your phase angle. So, i-convert mo siya to its polar form. Then, this would be 5 angle 3.14. O, yun na yun. Naka-polar na siya. Diba? Ganun na. So, basta naka-exponential, you convert it first to its polar counterpart. Okay. Ayan. Sige. Let's proceed to operations, no? Kasi we already discussed the format, the rectangular, polar, trigonometric, exponential. Let's proceed to the operations. So, sa operations, medyo madali lang siya, no? Kasi kayang-kaya siya i-solve ng calculator mo as long as alam mo yung kayang basahin ng calculator mo. So, what I'll do is that I will provide you na lang, guys, with a cheat sheet para at least mas madali nyo siyang maintindihan. So, lilista ko dito lahat, ha? This is rectangular form. This is the polar form. This is the trigonometric form. And we have the exponential form. Then, lagay ko dito, addition. Wait lang. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, power, and let's have the roots. Hanggang dyan muna. Mamaya yung iba. Madami yan kasi. No, pero hanggang dyan muna, guys. Kapag addition and subtraction, no, kailangan lahat ng complex number mo ay naka-rectangular form. Hindi naka-polar, hindi naka-trigonometric, hindi naka-exponential. Otherwise, hindi mo agad siya masusolve. Okay? So again, basta ang iyong operation na kailangan i-perform is either addition or subtraction, you have to make sure na yung iyong complex number ay naka-rectangular form. Okay? So, bakit? Kasi, for example, I have here the first complex number. So, this will be x sub 1 plus y sub 1i. And then z sub 2 is equal to x sub 2 plus y sub 2i. So, in order for us to either add or subtract the two complex numbers, you simply add or subtract the real numbers. So, this will be x sub 1 plus minus x sub 2 plus, lagi po yung plus, y sub 1 plus minus y sub 2i. Okay, so notice na whether it's addition or subtraction na pinaperform mo, yung middle operation dito is always addition. Ang tinataparan mo lang ng operation ay yung nasa loob. Okay? This two. Ito. Palitan ko ng color. Ayan. This two. Ito at ito. Pero ito, this one, lagi yang plus. Okay? Next, let's have the multiplication and the division. Kapag multiplication or division, dapat palagi yang naka-polar form. Hindi naka-rectangular, hindi naka-trigonometric, hindi naka-exponential. Lagi po dapat naka-polar form. Bakit? Okay, wait lang. Diba, for example, I have a complex number here na naka-polar form, so I have r sub 1 angle theta 1, and si z sub 2 is equal to r sub 2 angle theta 2. So in order for me to either divide or multiply the two complex numbers, the first thing, kapag multiplication ang usapan, ha? Ay, mali pala ang placement ko. Sige, anyway, kapag multiplication, ang ipag-multiply mo palagi is yung real number. Si real number para kay real number, si theta para kay theta. Okay? So with that, no, if you want to multiply z sub 1 and z sub 2, you multiply si real number para kay real number and si theta para kay theta. Pero dito sa part na to, kay theta, no, hindi mo siya i-multiply, ipag-a-add mo siya. Kasi diba, ang counterpart na operation ng multiplication is addition. And kapag naman division, ang counterpart na operation niya is subtraction. So since multiplication ang usapan natin, we add the two angles. Pero kapag division ang usapan, I'll move dito lang. No? Gawin kong red. Yan. So, for example, z sub 1 divided by z sub 2. Again, you perform the actual operation sa real number. So, this will be r sub 1 divided by r sub 2. And then you perform the counterpart operation dun sa angles involved. So, with this will be angle 1 minus angle 2. So, sa real number ay actual, and then sa angle performed is the counterpart. Similar dito, kung papansin mo sa multiplication, ay dito pala, sa multiplication, nag-apply ka or nag-perform ka ng actual operation na involved, which is multiplication dun sa real numbers, pero dun sa theta or sa angles ay yung kanyang counterpart na operation. Okay? So, let's have an example. Mamaya po tayo dito kay power and kay roots. For example, in this given value, we have to evaluate the final answer. So, the first thing, or the safest step na kailangan mo munang gawin is to identify lahat ng formats. Bakit? Kasi, para alam mo kung pwede mo na ba siya agad ipasok sa calculator mo or hindi pa. Okay, so let's try. Ito ay rectangular. So, okay, check tayo dito kasi kaya yung basahin ng calculator mo. Next, trigonometric. O, yan, si trigonometric. Pwede yan mabasa ng calculator mo. Okay. Ito naman, this is polar. So, again, pwede siya mabasa ng calculator mo. Pero dito, this is exponential. Sabi ko kanina, hindi yan kaya basahin ng calculator mo. So, anong gagawin mo? Palitan mo ng polar form. Sige, this is 6, no, alangan. And then, this is the angle. So, this will follow the format. Kung exponential, si Regio. So, meaning, si 6, siya si R, and then, si 3.14 here is the angle itself, no? Pero sabi nga natin kanina, notice na this is in radians, no? Kasi nga, sabi yan kanina, kapag exponential, dapat naka-rad mode or naka-radians yung iyong theta or yung iyong angle. So, with that, kung papalitan natin siya into its polar counterpart, this will be 6 angle 3.14. Or, di ba si 3.14 is equal to pi, so pwede ko siyang palitan ng pi na lang para hindi ako sulat ng sulat sa ating calculator ng 3.14 kasi access siya sa oras. Okay, so with that, no, palitan ko na siya ha. This will be now 6 angle pi. Next step, no, so since na-identify mo na lahat, napalitan mo na ang kailangan palitan, you have to determine kung anong mode ang gagamitin mo sa calculator mo. Check mo yung given. Yung given mo ba ay naka-degrees? Check natin, ito ay naka-pi, ito ay naka-pi. So, meaning, hindi siya naka-degrees. Dapat naka-radians mode yung ating calculator. So, palitan lang natin. So, this will be in rad mode. So, okay na tayo. So, pag okay na tayo lahat, pwede natin siyang ipasok sa calculator. So, this will be 3 plus 4i. And then, doblehin na agad natin yung ating parenthesis dito. So, this will be 5. Lagyan natin sa labas. This will be cosine, and then lagay na agad natin yung parenthesis dito para hindi siya nakakalito. This will be pi over 2. And then, let's have plus sine. Lagay na agad natin yung pair niya dito na parenthesis para hindi nakakalito. Pi over 2. And then, notice na ilalagay ko dito sa last part si i. Bakit hindi ko nilagay si i dito? Eh, ma'am, kasi diba ito yung j. Tapos, hindi mo agad nilagay si j dito. Eh, diba walang j sa calculator? Hindi ko naman pwede ilagay si i dyan kasi nga magsisyntax error yan. So, nilagay ko dito si i sa dulo. Okay. Okay na pa tayo. Okay, let's proceed dito sa denominator. Lagay na agad ako ng dalawang parenthesis dito. So, this will be 6 angle, shift angle, pi. And then, 2 angle, 2 pi. So, okay na ba? Let's check lang po. 3 plus 4i, 5 cosine, j sine, okay. And then, press equal. And then, you will arrive at the answer of 5 over 3 minus 5 over 4i. So that's our final answer. Lagay ko lang dito, ha? Okay, so let's proceed to the next operations. For the power and the roots, both of these must also be in the polar form. So ito polar, ito polar. So again, sa power, sa real number natin, ina-apply yung mismong operation na involved. And then sa counterpart natin nilalagay, sa angle natin nilalagay yung counterpart operation niya. So for example, let's have the power muna, no? I'll make this as red na lang para hindi masyado nakakalito sa ating previous na sinulat. So, for example, our complex number is z and it is raised to by a certain exponent which is represented by the variable n. Okay, so if nakapolar to, then we will have r as our mod angle theta. So, dito, since power tayo ng operation, serial number, siya mismo yung i-raise natin dun sa exponent, and then, kay theta natin ilalagay yung kanyang counterpart. So, dito, i-multiply natin yung exponent. So, this will be r raised to that exponent, angle theta multiplied by the exponent. So, for example, let's have 5 plus 2i, 5 plus 2i raised to 20. So, try nga natin sa calculator if mag-work na siya. Kasi nakakapagod po mag-solve manually, no? Baka pwede yung calculator na lang. So, we have 5 plus 2i and then raise it to 28. Oops, math error. Natural, math error talaga makuha natin yan. Kaya sobrang taas ng exponent natin. So, wala tayong choice kundi mag-manual solving. Okay, so sa advanced mathematics, no, wala tayong diretsong caltech agad. Nandun na yung sagot, no? It's a mixture of manual solving and the calculator. So with that, now, since hindi pa naman siya naka-polar form and this is using the power operation, no, hindi natin siya agad pwede ma-solve kasi nga naka-rectangular form pa lang siya. So with that, we have to convert 5 plus 2i into its polar form. Use shift 2, 3, so we will have the square root of 29. Square root of 29, angle 0.3805. Ayan, tigla tayo dyan. So, with that, no, if we will perform the power operation, i-erase natin yung mismong real number, which is the square root of 29 by 28. And then, si angle will be multiplied by the exponent itself. So, this will be 0.3805 multiplied by 28. So, dito, kasi minsan, yung iba dyan, no, dinadiretso. So, ginagawa, square root of 29. Sige, wait lang ha. Square root of 29. Square root of 29. I-erase niya agad sa 28. Tapos, diretso niya sa angle. Sa angle. O, ayan. Diretso mo yan, pwedeng magkaiba ng sagot. So, I suggest, no, na himayin mo. Huwag mo ipagsabay. Himayin mo isa-isa lang. So, what do I mean by that? So, this will be square root of 29 ka muna. Doon ka muna sa real number. And then, kapag nakuha mo na yung sagot, wait lang, square root of 29, yan. Place mo sa 28, pag nakuha mo na yung sagot, so this will be 2.97, 56 raised power of 20. And then, pag nakuha mo na yung sagot dyan, for the real number, you proceed to the angle form. So, this will be 0.38, 0.3805 multiplied by 28. You will get an answer of 10.6. Okay na yan, 10.6. Pwede na yan. Let's proceed to the roots. For the roots, di ba, if you will go back to the basic concept ng hindi lang isa yung makukuha mong answer. It depends sa ilang roots meron ka. Diba? So, hindi pwedeng, unlike sa previous operations natin, no, isa lang yung nakukuha natin, usually. Pero kapag roots ang usapan, nag-iiba yan. Nag-iiba, walang specific na number of answers. It depends on the problem. So, kapag roots, we follow the format na this will be, for example, I have here the square root of my complex number, square root of z. Kapag ganun ang usapan, no, pag nakita ka ng radical, gawin mo or convert mo siya into its fraction exponent. So meaning, this will be rewritten to z raised to 1 over n. And then you use the concept of powers. But in this case, no, since rules nga usapan natin, yung angle formed ang magkakaroon ng panibagong formula. So with this, no, we will use the polar form. So this will be r angle theta. So just like the power formula, no, si real number yung i-raise natin by the exponent itself. Pero this time, yung angle involved, hindi na natin siya i-multiply na lang kaagad dun sa roots. Okay? Ang gagawin natin, we will follow the format, which is angle plus 360 or 2 pi. Lagyan natin dito, or 2 pi multiplied by k all over n. Okay, wait lang ha. Si angle, of course, siya yung angle na makukuha mo from the polar form. Si 360, depende yan kung ang iyong values ay naka-degree mode. Pero kung naka-radians naman lahat, you proceed to 2 pi. So this will be theta plus 2 pi times k. Pero ang pag-degree mode, this will be theta plus 360 multiplied to k all over n. Si n is yung number ng iyong root. So for example, I'll have the cube root. Bigyan tayo ng example dito ha. For example, we have the cube root of z. So syempre, this will be r multiplied to 1/3. And then this will be any angle, no? Kung ano mang angle yan. Then let's assume na naka-degrees yung ating mga values. So this will be 360 multiplied by k all over 3. Okay? And yung k? Yung k here is the number of roots starting from 0. Okay? Si k here is equal to the number of roots starting from 0, 1, 2, up until n minus 1. So, kung cube root yan, magiging tatlo yung values na ibibigay mo sa akin. So, this will be at k is equal to 0. Lagyan natin ito. At k is equal to 0, k is equal to 0, k is equal to 1, k is equal to 2. Again, ba't hindi ako nag-proceed to k is equal to 3? Kasi nga hanggang n minus 1 lang yung iyong magiging roots. So, bigay tayo ng example dito na let's use 5 plus 2i raised to 28. Raised to 1/3 na lang. Wait lang ha. So, let's have the cube root of 5 plus 2i. Again, kapag ganun, since this is a rectangular form, you have to convert it first to its polar form. So, this will be square root of 29. Angle, ngayon, wait lang, sorry, 0.38 na lang ha. 0.38. Ayan, naka-polar form na siya. And then, we proceed to the main operation, which is the roots, no? So, the real number will be raised to its exponent, which is 1/3. And then, this angle here, siya yung magbabago. Okay? Kapag roots, no, yung operation mo, regardless kung pang ilang root yan, same yung real number na makukuha mo. So, sige, let's have square root of 29, raised to 1/3. Oops. Ayan. This will be 1.75. So, I'll assume, no, this will be 1.75, this will be 1.75, this will be also 1.75. Ang mag-iiba lang palagi dyan is your angle. Okay? Siya lagi yung nasasubject to changes. Depende sa kung pang ilang root ka. So, with that, use your calculators na lang. No, hindi ko na isusulat mano-mano. So, we will have 0.38, 38, and then we will assume that we will use, kasi ito naka-radians to eh. So, let's use 2 pi. Sakto naka-radians din yung ating calculator. So, at k is equal to 0, pwedeng gawin mo actually. Huwag mo ilagay yung value dyan. Lagay mo yung x para mag-calc and calc and calc ka na lang palagi. Hindi ka sulat ng value, di ba? So, this will be 3. Tama ba? So, let's check lang ha. 2 pi. Okay. Ayan. Ay, sorry. Kakalk pala. So, si K is equal to 0 muna. So, this will be 0.13 or 0.127 na lang. 0.127. And then, let's proceed. Mag-calc lang ulit tayo. Calc tayo ng at K is equal to 1. So, this will be 2.22. 2.22. And then, this will be 4.13. Okay? Ayan. So, these are the 3 values. Now, ang technique dyan, para malaman mo kung tama yung sagot mo, yung angles na nakuha mo dito, si 0.127, 2.22, 4.13, yung angles na nakuha mo for each root, better kung masustore mo agad siya sa iyong calculator. So, for example, in-store ko kay AC 0.127, kay BC 2.22, kay C ay C 4.13. Kapag pinag-multiply mo yung iyong complex conjugates or yung iyong angles, no, the answer should be approximately, no, equal to 1. So, it can be less than 1. It can be greater than 1. Basta close siya or approximately equal to 1. So, in this case, 1.21, no, medyo malapit siya kay 1. So, para malaman mo na tama yung iyong sagot. Okay, yun yung technique.